Okay then, let's try this again. Sorry about that, guys, if you joined the earlier stream. Apparently, my computer decided to crash on me. So that was fun. But let's actually try this again. So, apologies if you joined a couple minutes ago of the last stream. If you didn't hear, I just like what I just said. My computer decided to crash on me. So yeah, that was great. It's totally, such a good day to stream for me today. Everything's going wrong. But like I said, let's try this again. And hopefully my PC decides not to crash again. That was really weird. That actually never has happened to me before. That was the first time it actually crashes while I'm streaming. Anyway, where was I last before we crashed the other stream? I think I was talking about the enemies. So I was answering some questions from the previous stream that I didn't get to answer. And like I said, if you have any questions for me, I'll gladly answer them. But basically, I think I was talking about how the enemies worked. So there's a base enemy that just moves left or right, and it doesn't check if there's a pit. If there's a pit, it will actually fall into, which is this enemy here. And this second enemy is an enemy that actually does check to see if there's a pit in front of it. If there's a pit in front of it, then it actually changes direction. So far there's only these two enemies. I am planning on adding a third enemy that can actually detect the player and moves when the player is within the enemy's detection. And follows the player around. So that's going to be the third enemy that I'm adding. Now, like I said, I did add a couple more mechanics to it, like moving platforms. And I was working on a hazard. Right now I'm just using the default Godot icon, but basically it's just an area 2D. Whenever the player touches it, it will actually decrease the player's health. So I'm going to use this to create some hazards across the levels. And then I did show you the moving platform already. So in this implementation, I'm using an animation player to get it to move, as well as a path follow 2D, a path 2D, remote transform 2D, and so forth. Now I do have to adjust the timing for it because it's a little bit too fast and it's too big. I need to change the art out for some actual art because, again, this is just the default Godot icon. As you can see, if I actually remove the modulate, so it's just the default icon for now. I will be changing the art later. I'm hoping to get these changes fixed and work on the timing and stuff across the next couple of days, and actually release an updated version on my itch page for the Kickstarter, where you can actually check it out on your own if you want. So there's that. Hopefully within the next 2 days, that will happen. And hopefully I can actually implement the one power-up that I was experimenting with the canvas modulate that will actually cause your screen to get darker and limit your field of view when you get that power-up. And it will do that on the other players, not for you. So it will affect the other players, not your screen. So I'm working on that mechanic right now as well for it. And once I'm done with that, I'll actually be refactoring. We'll start to refactor a lot of the code to make it a lot easier to understand and fix a lot of the bugs that I know that it still has. So that's the current progress of the Kickstarter project for the Slime Adventure game. The app, the message app, that one's pretty much done. I gotta do some tweaks here and there still as well, so I'll just release an updated version within the next couple of days for that as well. I'll probably leave an update about it on the Kickstarter page, so if you're interested, you can check it out in the Kickstarter page, which should be here if you go to the Kickstarter page, which if you're interested, the link is in the description. And there's an update section here that you can click, and there you get to see all the updates and stuff. So when I release the update, I'll make an update here when the next version of the Slime Adventure game goes out, and the message app, so that you can test it out. Also, currently we're sitting at 13% of the base goal. We still have 16 days to go. It's not looking the best for the Kickstarter, but like I said, we still have 16 days to go, so there is more than enough time to actually meet the base goal. So I think we can still make it. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll answer them. And also, let me just check that everything is actually working with the stream, because I didn't make sure. I believe it is working, and it does seem so. So yeah, any questions, feel free to ask. And actually, I think there was a couple other questions from the last time that I streamed that I haven't answered as well. For example, I remember someone asked me if you could make a visual style game for multiplayer. I mean, I don't see why not. As long as you can implement all the mechanics that you want for it, then it's more than doable. It would be an interesting game, since I haven't really ever seen a visual novel multiplayer game. But yeah, you could do it. I don't know how it would work, but yeah, you can do it. But yeah, I'm gonna continue working on this, release a updated version in the next couple of days, so look forward to that. And I mean, I can talk about the stretch goals also, but I mean, like I said, right now it's not looking too good for the project, Kickstarter wise, but you never know. If we do happen to, reach one of the stretch goals, which would be the first stretch goal, that would be for a peer-to-peer game using Godot.io, which is this little website here that lets you host your, lets you basically add and host your Godot games here for free, and it supports multiplayer out of the box. So you can pretty much just upload your multiplayer game on here. It does have to be a P2P or peer-to-peer game in order for it to work so far. I believe they are adding a service where they also have dedicated servers. But for now, it does have to be a peer-to-peer game, and it does support multiplayer out of the box. You do have to do a couple things here and there to make it work, but it's quite easy to do, and it's free. So that's one of the things that I would be showing you how to do. Now, they do also have their own plugins that work with Godot's high-level multiplayer API, which you can use to add additional functionality to your game, such as a room system and stuff like that. And that's all in the documentation for their plugin and stuff like that. So yeah, I would be teaching you that for the first stretch goal. And the second stretch goal, or goal 3, would be a 3D game for a dedicated server connection. So a 3D game, maybe something like a racing game I was thinking of doing for it. And then the goal 4 is a peer-to-peer 3D game, also using Godot.io and the plugins that they have for additional functionality and hosting. But yeah, that's the Kickstarter. So if you guys have any questions, like I keep saying, feel free to ask. And if you're interested in the Kickstarter page and interested in supporting it, the link is in the video description, so you can check it out there. And yeah, if you know anyone that's interested in multiplayer and learning how to do multiplayer with Godot, then feel free to share it with them, your friends, your family, and help the project succeed. So, if no one has any questions, let me actually make sure that the chat is working, because that would kind of be embarrassing if chat wasn't actually working and you guys were actually messaging me questions. Alright, it seems like it is working. Fine. Alright, well, I don't really see anyone having any questions for me. You can ask me, you know, about the Kickstarter or just about Godot in general, and yeah, I'll see if I can answer them. Let me actually check something here. Okay, so I did disable the lights for the player, and that's all part of the one mechanic that I talked about with the screen going dark for the other players if you collect a certain item in the world. But yeah, I'll probably add a couple more functionalities to the game, and like I said, refactor the code and fix a lot of bugs within the next couple of weeks. And yeah, that will be it. Anyway, since no one seems to have questions, I think that's actually going to be it for today's stream. Mainly because my internet is pretty unstable, and as you saw earlier from the previous attempt of streaming this, my computer crashed. So yeah, with that, I think that will actually do it for the stream since no one seems to have questions. So like I said, if you're interested in the Kickstarter project, you can find the link in the description. And yeah, whenever you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me either on my YouTube channel or my Discord. The links are also on my YouTube channel, so you can find all that on there. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then.